Okay, so this is a wild story. It's about a DeFi platform that was putting up these absolutely insane returns, totally dominating its market, and then boom, it nearly collapsed, just like that. But now, Strike Finance is trying to pull off this radical reboot, and we're going to break down exactly how they plan to do it.
And to really get how high the stakes are here, you just have to listen to what the team is saying themselves. They're calling this period, right now, the single most important couple of months in their entire history. So yeah, how did we get to this crazy make-or-break moment?
Yeah, it's a huge question, isn't it? How does a platform offering over 100% returns suddenly find itself in what the team literally called their worst period yet? It doesn't really add up on the surface. To figure it out, we've got to go back. Let's look at just how much of a monster their first version, V1, really was.
And powerhouse is absolutely the right word. I mean, before any of the trouble started, Strike Finance V1 was posting numbers that were, well, they were just staggering.
I mean, just get a load of this, 106%. That was the lifetime APR for anybody who provided liquidity to the platform. In any world of finance, let alone a DeFi, that is an absolutely insane return on your investment.
So naturally, when you're offering yields like that, you're going to attract a crowd. And they did. The platform ended up processing a total trading volume of over 1.5 billion ADA. That's Cardano's native currency. You don't get that kind of volume by accident. That shows real, serious demand. To really put that into perspective, imagine this. If you had put in 1 million ADA, just 6 months later, you'd have 1.8 million ADA. That's an 80% gain in half a year. Just incredible.
But this is where it gets really wild. At its absolute peak, Strike Finance was responsible for over 70% of all the trading volume on the entire Cardano network in a single day. Think about that. They weren't just a player in the ecosystem. For a while there, they were the ecosystem.
And yeah, the team knew it. They were riding high. This little quote, "We're so back," just perfectly captures that feeling of being on top of the world. But, and there's always a but, right? Underneath all that success, a huge weakness was hiding, just waiting to cause problems.
Because even with all those record-breaking numbers, that hidden flaw we talked about, well, it was about to come out in a big way and threaten the whole operation.
I mean, talk about whiplash. In the blink of an eye, the team went from "we're so back" to admitting they were going through one of their worst periods yet. So what on earth happened? Okay, so the whole problem boils down to one word, and it's a super important one in DeFi: liquidity. The easiest way to think about it is like fuel for an engine. Liquidity is just the big pool of assets that are ready and available for trading. If that fuel tank starts running low, the whole engine just grinds to a halt.
And look, this wasn't just, a bad week in the market. The team dug in and they found the real root cause. It was a structural problem baked right into the design of V1. You could almost say the platform became a victim of its own success. It just wasn't built to handle that much volume, and that led to this constant, chronic lack of liquidity.
So instead of just trying to slap a bandage on the old system, the team did the smart thing. They went all the way back to the drawing board. And what came out of that is V2. And it's really important to know, this isn't just an update, it's a completely new, purpose-built solution. And with V2, they're making a huge promise, a really bold one. They're saying the entire system has been built from the ground up with one single goal in mind: to make sure that the kind of liquidity crisis they saw in V1, well, in their own words, it can never happen again. And they're not just rushing this thing out either. They're being super careful, following a really clear plan. First, they're finalizing this specialized bot to manage the market making. Then, they're putting the whole system through some serious stress testing. And finally, before any of us can touch it, they're having it audited by a quant expert from a major trading firm. They're checking all the boxes.
So the good news is the wait is almost over. From everything they're saying, it looks like they expect to launch this massive V2 upgrade sometime within the next 2 weeks. It's right around the corner.
But here's the thing. Fixing that liquidity problem, that's just step one. For this team, it's just the beginning. They plan on using this brand new, stable foundation to build something way, way bigger.
And when I say ambitious, I mean it. Their roadmap for just the next 3 months is packed. Okay, so they're launching V2 on Cardano, of course, but they're also launching V2 on Solana. They're hiring ahead of Solana, launching a native mobile app, making their Strike token available everywhere, and introducing liquid staking. It's a lot.
So yeah, their ambition is pretty crystal clear, right? The goal isn't just to be a cool project on Cardano anymore. The new mission is, and I quote, household name or bust. For them, there is no middle ground. It's all or nothing.
And it's one thing to have big plans, but you need the cash to back it up. And they do. The project's treasury has about $2.5 million in it right now. That is a serious war chest to fund all of this expansion.
So that all brings us to the big question, doesn't it? We know they can build a product that people will use. They've proven that. They've found their big weakness, and they've built what looks like a rock-solid solution. So now, with a full war chest and this super aggressive plan, are they really poised to make that jump from being a big fish in a small pond to becoming a true household name in DeFi? Well, we're about to find out.